Episode 2, Job Creation in Haiti through the eyes of Jake Stebbing, Executive Manager of Fleri Bakery and Restaurant, with Michael Stabner, photographer and videographer. All right, so we're here with Jake Stebbing, podcast number 2 for the Healing Haiti podcast. Welcome to Minnesota, Jake.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so those of you who don't know, Jake is our, what are you, Jake?
I'm the executive manager of Fleri Restaurant and Bakery in Titanier, kind of our job creation missionary for Healing Haiti.
Okay. All right, so let's first start with a little bit of backstory. Tell me a little bit about your history and how you ended up in Haiti.
Yeah. Well, it all started back in 2015, and I was actually supposed to go on a vacation, and it fell through, and I just went on Facebook and was kind of like, what should I do? Like, where should I go? And I had a friend who worked in Haiti, and she told me I should come visit her in Haiti. And I thought, that's in the Caribbean. That'll be a great vacation. No problem. Some palm trees and beaches. And when I got there, she basically threw me on a mission trip. We went into Cité Soleil and delivered clean water and visited Titanier, where I now serve. And while I was there was this talk of this internship opportunity for 3 months with Healing Haiti. And I just kept feeling this tug towards it, but at the same time felt like it was just enough time to serve and just enough time to give to God so that I could go back and do what I wanted to do, which was run businesses and own my own company one day. And so I served for 3 months as an intern at Grace Village in Titanier, where I got to kind of meet the community and start to learn the language. And Healing Haiti approached me about doing their job creation program, which was kind of new and the direction that Healing Haiti wanted to go, because we started to learn about, you know, what Haiti really needs and investment and opportunity. And so I said, okay, I'll do 2 years and start with this project. And now 6.5 years later,
6.5 years later,
here we are.
Okay, so why is job creation so important?
There's so many reasons why job creation is so important. But one of the biggest reasons is just to understand Haiti's situation and history, and a lot of the issues going on in Haiti kind of are central to the lack of opportunity and the lack of investment in the country itself. And so when you look at aid or, you know, foreign aid or help, a lot of the times it's giving something. And what we as a country didn't really realize is that when we did that back in the 90s through, you know, free rice from the United States, what that really did was kind of cripple Haiti's agricultural sector. And how can you compete as a Haitian rice farmer with free rice from America? And so a lot of the times when you're giving aid or foreign aid, it actually handicaps the local economy. And so job creation is central to actually building up developing communities, because you create an economy that's sustainable and you employ people who are then able to participate in that economy and invest in themselves, invest in their families, invest in their businesses. And when you do that, then you get to see communities flourish because they're now sustainable and they're able to tackle what they know are issues in their community because they have the capital, because they have the means to do so.
All right, so how long have you been living in Haiti now?
Since 2015, so about 6.5 years.
Yeah, we'll just round it up.
Yeah, we'll just say, there we go. Feels like a blur. So.
Yeah, it does actually feel like a blur. That's been 7 years.
Yeah, I feel like it was just yesterday. I was hopping on the plane to get over there, and now I'm like, wait, what? I'm still there?
I was actually on that mission trip.
Yes,
that like
you
kind
were.
of bait and switch mission trip that you came on.
Yeah.
That you were going for your Caribbean vacation, and then you ended up serving on a team for the week. And Yeah, I'm impressed that it stuck this
Yeah.
long, and that here you are 7 years later. I'm really happy that
Yeah.
that happened. But you have a unique perspective on
Mm.
Haiti because you're ingrained in the community, have been for a number of years. Not only do you run a business with your Haitian partners, you live there. You lived in, what's the name of the town that you lived in? Susmatla?
Oh, Susmatla. Yep.
Yes,
Lived in
yes.
Susmatla,
Yeah.
about 5 minutes away from Titania or so. Yeah.
But had an apartment, had a car, had a
Yeah.
everything. So you were definitely just living there.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what are those slice of life stories that you tell your friends? They're like, oh, this is Haiti, that we should share.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of reflect back on. I don't know why this one sticks out to me, but I always loved when I lived in Susmatla. I had these.
I love the name of that town.
I know it's great to say Susmatla. So I lived in this little house, and my neighbors were great. And a lot of the times we would just, when I got home from work, I would go out there and sit on the stoop with them, and they had a little business selling, vinegar and tomato paste, just little kind of things that you might need around the house. And we would just talk and hang out. And one day I made the mistake of coming back from work, and I saw them, and they're like, "How was your day?" And I was like, "Oh, good. I'm starving," because I just hadn't eaten that day, but it was my own fault. And ever since that day, almost every day, I had a knock on my door, and they would bring me food that they had made because they knew that I would work myself silly and forget to eat, and they wanted to make sure. And there was one time I had to go back out there after I ate it because I was like, that was like the best thing I've ever eaten. I went out there, I was like, thank you so much for bringing me this. So sweet of you. So, what was that? Was that goat? Was that beef? She's like, oh, no, that was cheval, which means horse. I was like, horse? Oh. So I've gotten to taste what a horse tastes like. But it was interesting to get to try something new, but also just it was just such a tender thing that they wanted to look out for me. Even though I had the means to take care of myself, they saw that I was not doing that and did it themselves.
And consistently, like every day.
Spaghetti. Wow. And I mean, just, it was, I loved getting to know them. And recently I got to see them again because I had to go to that area to help a friend with something, and they were all outside. And so I got to surprise them and say, what's up? And so, very, very sweet family. That's what I loved about Haiti. I mean, honestly, some of my favorite memories in Haiti are sitting on steps, sitting on doorsteps, because that's where like real life happens in Haiti, is after the day is done or before the day has started, just sitting on the doorstep talking about life and hearing what their day was like, telling them about my day, and just being present with each other. I think those are, I know it sounds so almost silly or minuscule, but those are some of my favorite moments of Haiti.
Tell me a little bit about your apartment or house that you lived in.
Yeah, so it was like way too big for me, actually. The housing in Haiti is relatively affordable from depending on, your income level and whatnot. And so I was able to get this little house. It was like a 2-bedroom, and I had to get solar panels and some batteries so that I could actually have power, because there's not a lot of power in Susmatla, Titania. City power usually is only in Port-au-Prince, the capital city. Unfortunately, I am not very handy, so I was not very good at keeping the lights on at my house, because I was like, I don't know, the batteries are dried up, I think. Are you supposed to be adding water to this? And So it was a learning experience and a growing experience for sure. And I had, thankfully, the help of my neighbors and friends.
Thank God for those neighbors.
Yeah, they kept me alive during those times for sure.
So a lot of times you come home and have no power through the night, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. If they didn't give power, if the sun wasn't out, if the batteries weren't working, if wires were crossed, come home and just you turn your flashlight on your phone and make your way to bed and then sweat yourself to sleep. No fan.
So how is sleeping in Haiti with, I mean, I know the answer to this question, but how is sleeping in Haiti with no fan?
It's what I imagine hell would be like. No, I'm just kidding. But coming from
HE double hockey sticks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. HE double hockey sticks. This is a family podcast. Yeah, it's tough. And I think I had a misconception that it was like if you were Haitian, it was easy. I like, oh, you grew up, you're used to this heat, right? But no, they'll tell you too, like, oh my gosh, last night was so hot I couldn't sleep. And yeah, when you don't have a fan or you don't have a breeze, depending on, a lot of houses in Haiti have security walls. Or they're super close together, the houses, and so it's hard to get a breeze going through your house because everything is clustered or walled off. So you're just sitting there in a 90-degree room, sweating, praying that you will fall asleep due to exhaustion because you have to get up the next day and get to work, and Haitians are up at the crack of dawn getting their day started. And so sometimes I would freeze a water bottle at Fleri in the freezer and then go home and sleep next to it like a teddy bear because it would keep you cold. And so you figure out ways to work around it, sleeping on the floor or taking a bucket shower right before you go to sleep. Hopefully that'll do it. But
I mean, I know you probably felt this, but I've been in Haiti before where I wake up through the night drinking water, realizing I'm dehydrating while I sleep.
Yes.
Because you're sweating so much.
Yep.
And you have no fan and no air movement that you just keep drinking water because like I'm sweating all my water out.
Yeah.
And that happens probably pretty often. I'm guessing for you. You put a restaurant and a bakery in an area that there were no restaurants. So this is kind of, Titanier had no restaurants, right?
Right. Formal, they're like a lot of street vendors in Titanier, a couple here or there.
Yeah.
I don't want to, diss on my spaghetti lady.
No,
but
but like sit down restaurants.
Yes. Yeah.
Except for that, you want to talk about that little restaurant we used to go to before, Fleri, in somebody's backyard.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I missed that place. There was this cool little, I had like a tent kind of covering in the back of
this
it.
talks a little bit about the ingenuity of the people in Titanier. So it was a backyard tent.
Yeah, they had like a tent kind of set up covering their backyard and just a couple chairs and tables, and they cooked out of their kitchen. And it was really good food.
Yeah.
And they had, some beers and, soft drinks that you could purchase from their, usually how they sell beer and soft drinks is in a cooler with chunks of ice. There's no electricity, so there's no refrigerator or freezer. So it's, Coca-Cola that has been sitting on a chunk of ice all day. And so really, a genius little idea to kind of make some money for this family. And it was definitely some of the best food, definitely some of the most interesting food. There's one time I went there. I don't remember if you were there or not. Maybe, but
beef ragu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. And I was like, we were with our friend John Willet, and I was like, what is this? As I was munching on it, he's like, oh, that's the intestines. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, it was not great.
Didn't love that one. But otherwise, 5 stars all around, Yelp
good.
review. Yeah.
That was a meal. So we see a lot of things on the news. See a lot of news articles that paint Haiti in a certain light. I'd like to hear Haiti from your perspective. And I know this is like a big question.
Right. How long do we got on this podcast?
I know. But I think your perspective is unique. It's different than anybody that I know.
Sure.
So what's your view on Haiti right now and or just Haiti in general? And then we'll talk a little bit about Haiti right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can truly say, I know it sounds cliche or cheesy, but that Haiti has taught me way more than I could ever have given Haiti in my time there. But I think that that's what's been so great about living there and working there is that Haiti has solutions, and Haitians know what they need to get done. But the systemic issues with their government and insecurity and stuff, whatnot, sometimes impedes that. And so sometimes people have that perspective of, developing countries or Haiti doesn't know what needs to be done or whatnot. And I think that they do. And so it's given me the opportunity to learn so much about Haiti and their community and what needs to get done and how they operate. And I think one of the first lessons that I learned there was how much they care about community and not just paying lip service to it. I got in trouble with somebody that I lived close to because every morning on my way to work, I would see her and I would give her one of those Minnesota side grins and a wave and go straight to work. And one day I saw her and she's like, "Mba bien avec," which means I'm not okay with you. And I was like, "What? Why?" She's like, "You never stop and ask me how I'm doing. How's my family? What's going on? You're just interested in going straight to work." And here I was thinking that going straight to work was how I was, serving or helping. And in Haitian community, man, serving and helping and being present is way more important. And so from that day on, I just tried to be way more intentional. Yeah, that's a word,
Sure.
Right? About how I spend my time and how I invest it. And Haitians kind of make fun of Americans for the expression "time is money," because we truly do abide by that in thinking that our productive hours can only be spent at work, and how much more productive we can be when we're in the community, when we're talking with our brothers and sisters and finding out, their hurts and their needs. Because everybody, we like to say, "Oh, Haiti, this is their problem." It's not universal. Every community in Haiti, every community in America has their own issues, has their own strengths, has their own, everything. And so Haiti for me has kind of given me that perspective of how much they truly care about the individual and their brother and sister, and how sometimes in America and the Western world we kind of lose sight of that. Images that the media puts on their newscasts and their stories are often violent looking, fires and burning tires and blocked roads and whatnot. And as an American who maybe's not seen that in their life, it can be frightening and portray this image of, not safe or violent or barbaric. And a lot of the times those are protests of the general population that are trying to say, it's kind of a rallying cry. And he says, "Nous bouquet," which means we're tired. I mean, they're tired of not having a government that is, fighting for their people. They're tired of being pressed down and oppressed and raising prices. And sometimes that's the way that they can be heard, is by protesting and blocking the roads. And, regardless of how you feel of those methods, it's the cry of the people. And sometimes the media wants to portray that as the cry of gangs or the cry of, organized crime, whatever it might be. But it's a people that have been suffering and struggling and fighting for their rights and their ability to live. And so I think portraying it as a violent country is something I've seen that frustrates me so much, because it's just not the case.
The cry of the people,
Mm-hmm.
really a strong statement. Like, we're going to stop everything from happening so our voices are heard.
Right?
It's the cry of the people.
Yeah. And you can argue of course, whenever you look at a situation, especially when there's protesting or when there's frustrations of a community or a country, you can always find, bad actors, or you can always find situations that are not ideal. But when you're up against a situation and lifestyle and government that's not ideal, you can't necessarily always have your voice heard by petitioning the government, through a change.org post.
True.
And so sometimes you have to have a more nuanced look at it and say, yeah, of course it's not ideal to stop transportation in the country. Of course that's going to have negative ramifications on her own people. But also to look at what is trying to be spoken and what is trying to be said and what is trying to be portrayed, so that there can be actual change.
I need to ask you a question. I want you to answer in Creole, because everyone gets a kick out of hearing this, and I get a kick out of hearing this. I want you to send your parents a nice message, but I want it in Creole.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
Ok, bonsoir maman, papa. Comment nous y moi tellement content, j'ai chance pour dire combien moi aime nous. C'est parce que ou te apprendre moi tout bagay dans la vie. Ou te montre j'aime ka bay l'amour, bay mon respect, et puis pour ça m'pap j'aime ka suspendu ou merci. Moi aime ou en pile.
All right. Well, I'm sure your parents understood that.
Yeah, they better.
You'll translate that later tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
No problem.
It's always good to hear.
Yeah.
I miss Creole.
I bet.
I miss hearing that. So, all right. So the reason why I miss Creole is because I have not been to Haiti in October. It'll be 12 months since last time I was there. I was there actually at Fleri having dinner when I got the notice on the national news that there had been a kidnapping of 16 Americans and one Canadian.
Yeah.
And then I quickly got out of the country. Well, I was in Titanier. I was staying at Grace, and then I was fortunate enough to have one of our employees, I won't name, drive me to Port-au-Prince really fast, and to get there and then to get out, just for safety.
Yeah.
And then, so it was Monday morning when I finally got to the airport. The airport was quiet. There was nobody in the airport. I got up to the check-in counter for my Spirit flight, and the check-in person, she looked at me and said, "You're coming back, right?" In this very emotional way, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And that's honestly what I felt in the airport that whole day was, things have changed. I have not been back because Haiti has taken a number of turns for the worse.
Sure.
Give me some perspective on because I feel like and we talked about this earlier, I feel like I don't understand Haiti right now because I haven't been there in a year, and I feel like I'm going to have to relearn Haiti in this new environment. So you've been there
right
this whole time. what is your perspective on Haiti in the year of 2022? My heart breaks.
Yeah. No. Tell me. Yeah.
And not for me.
Right.
Doesn't break that I can't be there.
Sure.
It breaks for everybody that we know there.
Yeah.
And how you function on a daily basis. What's happening? Yeah.
No, I think you nailed it on the head when you say your heart breaks, not for me, but for the people that live there. It's hard. I mean, I wish I could say everything was great, but I mean, obviously we know that's not the case, but it's hard to see opportunities evaporate for people. And I think that when you see on the news that there's instability or insecurity, your first instinct might be to think of the security of individuals, which of course is a concern. But for me, the hardest thing to witness on a day-to-day basis is the feeling of hopelessness kind of creeping in as there are opportunities just disappearing. And what I mean by that is maybe you were in a soccer league that's been shut down because there's absolutely no transportation, or maybe you were let go of your job because the business can't operate anymore in this environment, or maybe you wanted to go to university, but the universities are all on hold while they're in, these times of roadblocks and insecurity and political instability. That's been the hardest thing for me to see because it's so out of my control and it's out of their control. Yeah, I have always hurt for inequality, and I've always had that heart for people that maybe just feel abandoned in one respect or another. And so this season of Haiti has been especially sad to see, and I think it's traumatizing for a whole generation of kids and of parents that can't see those opportunities out and are just kind of bystanders to what is going on. And you brought up like the kidnapping, and it made me think of, I saw this protest photo the other day of these, burning tires, and what the media was trying to portray is, this violent protest, and all the signs people were holding said "Abba kidnapping," and really, which means down with kidnapping, and like they're protesting their insecurity, and I mean, Haitians are at greater risk for kidnapping than Americans are. Yeah. And so that is the Haiti of 2022 right now is unfortunately a lot of heartbreak as Haitians feel unable to kind of secure their future and guide their tomorrow.
Yeah. So Jake and I were talking earlier before this about what it would be like, trying to put it in perspective, what it's like to not have a functioning government. And what it would be like here in the States if we had if our government just disappeared, and all the things that touches. Yeah. Your infrastructure. Yep. Your wastewater treatment, your water, your electricity. Yeah. All that stuff. If that disappeared here, we'd be burning tires in the street too.
Yeah, total chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like somebody listened to us.
Right.
This is not functioning. And this is their way. So when you see things on the news, like you said, those signs like we're down with kidnapping, like we don't want kidnapping anymore. They're pleading with their country, and they're pleading with the world. Somebody see us and hear us and help us. Yeah. That we're tired.
Yeah. New bouquet. That means we're tired. They're out in the streets saying that there's hopelessness. They feel this sense of despair over the lack of government, over the lack of opportunity and whatnot. And so to avoid it and only say, oh, well, I saw something good happen is almost to negate or, minimize their experience. So it is important to, call attention to that overwhelming sense of frustration that they're going through right now. And it's in America, the United States, of course, it's easy to and fun to kind of imagine the world without our government, but that's because we're talking about politics. We're not talking about government. Everyone would love to see our politicians go away, but
goodbye.
Yeah, get out of here. But yeah, it touches everything you do. And in Haiti, a lot of infrastructure and those types of services are actually provided by either private institutions, companies, or NGOs. And not the government. And when the country is going through political instability and there's kidnappings, those private institutions and those organizations leave.
Talk a little bit about how our staff is still serving in the midst of chaos.
Our staff has shown up in ways that I can't even imagine. And at Fleri, there would be protests, or there would be, these situations that happened countrywide, and I would have a meeting with my staff and be like, should we, do you guys want to close tomorrow? And they'd be like, why would we close tomorrow? If we close tomorrow, that means we're not getting out those 30,000 pieces of bread. Which is usually what we do in a day. And
30,000 pieces.
About 30,000 pieces of bread a day. And that they're looking at it from the perspective of their community. That means 30,000 pieces of bread aren't going into the hands of our resellers for them to find a living, but also not going into the, mouths and bellies of their brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers. And, so I've been more sensitive to the idea of closing down, or let's be, maybe we should be safer, not whatever. And they've always been the ones that have made the call for themselves to say, no, we're showing up, and we're gonna make sure that we're here for this community, and we will fight through all of it to continue. Yeah, I could literally do a whole podcast of just bragging on my staff if you need any future ideas.
Okay.
But for real, it is a risk to operate during national strikes. And obviously we observe holidays and stuff like that. But it is a risk, and I think it's a testament to not only their devotion to the community and the business, but a testament to their involvement in the community and the impact that they've had on the community. And in Haiti, like I was saying earlier, it's very community focused. And so everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows everybody's business. And so if there's some bad actors that maybe want to, do something, and you better hope you have the community's backing to stand up to some of that activity. And I think because from the beginning we were employee driven, based on our decisions, on our outward facing campaigns, everything employee driven, it's gotten us some credibility in the community to say, they're not staying open through this so that they can pad their coffers. They're staying open so that we can have bread in this community. And so I think in some respects, we have the respect of the community as well, thanks to our staff and our resellers who are out there in the community reselling it. So,
yeah, there's thousands of people on this side of the Caribbean praying. And have been for years. This has been a slow motion catastrophe over the last 2 and 3 years that we've been seeing just progress. And you always wonder, like, when's the bottom?
Yeah.
And I don't. It doesn't seem like that's the bottom yet. But where could the bottom possibly be? It's hard to imagine it worse.
It is hard to imagine it worse.
Yeah.
And I thought we were in it 3 years ago, and
Yeah,
then I thought
we
we
really
were in
did.
it 2 years ago,
Yes.
and I thought we were in it last. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like this is the bottom,
Mhm.
and it has to change.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see if there's a new bottom, what that looks like.
Yeah. So let's okay. We've gone way over our podcast. This may have to be like 2 podcasts. Maybe to wrap this up.
Sure.
Talk about the uniqueness. What makes Haiti so different than anywhere else on the planet? And you sit and think about that while we talked a little bit about this earlier too. I've been to different places around the world. I've been to really hard places all around the world, a lot of slums, a lot of very broken areas. There's nothing quite like Haiti. For its brokenness, but also for the hopefulness that is within that country. It's so unique. I've never seen anything quite like it, and I've heard that over and over from people that have been on trips. Like, oh yeah, I've been on a mission trip here. I've been on a mission. I get it. And after the first day, they're like, we've never seen anything like this.
Well, I think part of why it is unique is because it's such a hard question, and there's so many layers to Haiti that every time you peel one back and you think you're getting closer to understanding it, a new one forms, or you discover another one, and you're like, wait, what? Like, like I said, I mean, I've been there almost 7 years, and I would laugh at anybody that hasn't been born there that says they're an expert in Haiti, or they know Haitian culture, or and that's what I think is partially so unique about it, is there's so many layers, there's so many undertones of like hopelessness and hopefulness, and that they don't seem like they could coexist in a world, and yet they do. The resolute of the people, coupled with the roadblocks that they encounter, it just doesn't seem fair, and it doesn't seem like that should be existing in today's world. And it's a rock skip away from Florida. I mean, all that together in itself, I think, is really unique. There's so much beauty in Haiti, so much. I encourage you to go look up beaches or mountains and the terrain of Haiti, and then there's so much. The history of Haiti, it's crazy when you look at it. I think a lot of people don't realize it, and how much that they have battled over the years. And it's sometimes hard to call out your own country and some of the things that we've done in the past. And when Haiti found their freedom, we still had slavery in our country, and so we were scared that might spark something here.
Sure.
And so we didn't want to recognize that this new found country, or newly free country, was a legitimate country. And I think that when I found all that out and researched it, was hard to grasp with.
That was our first blockade of Haiti, correct?
Yeah.
Was when they won their freedom, the U.S. sailed around there and tried to squeeze them.
Yeah, and tried to make sure that no other country could trade with them at a time where trade, sugar and corn and whatever, coffee, was crucial to the economy of countries. And we were like, nope.
And Haiti was called the jewel of the Caribbean at the time,
pearl,
correct?
yeah.
The pearl of the Caribbean. It was the most prosperous, beautiful country in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of external forces that forced them into the spot they've been in for decades.
Yeah. I mean, they won their freedom and from France, and France forced them to pay reparations to the slaveholders. And so it's I think a good majority of people don't realize that. You know, they look at Haiti and maybe say, oh, well, you know, they have a corrupt government, or they can't get their act together. When, well, you know, a lot of world powers that are wealthy today had a hand in that. And I think that's a unique story of Haiti, and that makes it different. And so there's this fight, and there's a lot of pride in the people, knowing that they were the first independent slave nation to exist
in history,
and they had just been squeezed by the world powers at the time. And now in modern day, we look and say, oh, why is that like that?
Right. Like you talk about your neighbors.
Yeah.
Make sure you're fed. That is the beauty of this culture.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to lift up in the hardest times, is not to forget that beautiful culture. I mean, I'm going to speak for everybody who's listening. Mad respect for the fact that you chose a not easy path. That you could have had it much easier, and you chose a difficult path. And you chose a path of multiplication. That you and your staff take what you have individually, you put it all together, you multiplied it into something truly incredible. And that's just an understatement of what's happening, what I've seen and what people have seen happening through Fleri and through the bakery. Mad respect.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I know how you feel. Like, don't say it. But it's, I mean,
I appreciate it.
Respect. Shucks. All right, we're going to sign off on this podcast, and it was long, but I've been excited about this idea. And when I found out you were going to be in Minnesota, I was super excited that we could do it in person.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to hear your insight and wanted to hear Haiti from your point of view, because I knew that's the point of view people are wanting to hear.
Well, thank you. It was a blast, and as you know, I could talk about Haiti and job creation for days. So I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for great questions.
Jake, we'll see you in Haiti.
We'll see you there.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye. Bye. To learn more about the ongoing work of Healing Haiti, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, or visit us at healinghaiti.org.